She thought she married the love of her life until he led her to a cliff at night and shoved her into the darkness. What investigators uncovered will make your skin crawl. Before we go any further, I would like to express my gratitude for your support of our channel. It means a lot to us that you chose to watch our video. Please let us know where you are watching from before we proceed. Put your nation or city below. Additionally, if this is your first visit, remember to subscribe and like. Cynthia Rose was the kind of woman people remembered even after meeting her once. 27. Calm, artistic, and gentle in a way that made others feel safe. She had warm brown eyes, curly dark hair, and a shy smile she hid behind her hand whenever she got embarrassed. Cynthia was soft-spoken, thoughtful, and steady. Everyone who knew her described her as the peacekeeper, the one who soothed arguments, reassured others, and rarely raised her voice even when she was hurting. She loved art, design, photography, and the quiet moments most people overlooked. She worked as a freelance graphic designer, building her portfolio piece by piece, dreaming of opening her own studio someday. She planned things carefully, budgeted responsibly, and supported her family whenever she could. Cynthia was loyal, to a fault, and had a heart far too trusting for the world she lived in. And then she met Aaron Rose. Aaron seemed like the complete opposite of her. He was loud where she was quiet, confident where she was gentle, and charming in a way that felt cinematic. The kind of man who walked into a room and instantly attracted attention. Sharp dresser, smooth talker, hair always perfectly styled. He met Cynthia at a charity gala her employer hosted, and from the moment he saw her, he approached her with a flawless pickup line. "You look like the only real person here." Cynthia blushed. Aaron smiled. And just like that, their story began. Their relationship escalated fast. Too fast. Within weeks, Aaron was showering Cynthia with gifts, flowers, jewelry, dinners, weekend trips. He made her feel adored, chosen, valued. Her friends were skeptical. People who move too fast often hide something. But Cynthia defended him. She believed she had found someone who finally treated her the way she deserved. What she didn't know was that Aaron was drowning in financial problems. Credit card debt, gambling losses, unpaid loans, business failures. Behind the polished exterior was a man quietly falling apart. But instead of fixing his life, he sought an easier way out. Cynthia became that way out. Aaron proposed exactly a year into their relationship. He planned a dramatic, public display, sunset, violinists, a hidden photographer. Cynthia cried as she said yes. She thought it was the happiest moment of her life. But months before the proposal, Aaron had already taken out a $500,000 life insurance policy in her name, with himself as the sole beneficiary. She signed the paperwork without understanding the fine print. She trusted him, and he would use that trust to kill her. Their wedding was beautiful, warm, and emotional. Cynthia looked happier than ever, her gentle smile brighter than the sun. If she had doubts, she buried them deep. She believed marriage was forever, that love could weather anything. A week later, they left for their honeymoon, a trip Aaron planned down to the last detail. They flew to Raven's Peak National Reserve, a mountainous region famous for dramatic cliffs, narrow trails, and breathtaking views. Cynthia loved nature. Aaron did not, but he insisted on going, insisting he wanted her dream honeymoon, not his. What Cynthia didn't know was that Aaron had researched the cliffs obsessively for weeks. He looked up accident rates, false statistics, best vantage points, and weak safety barriers. He had even searched, how high does someone need to fall to guarantee fatal injuries? This trip wasn't romance. It was premeditated murder. On their second day there, Aaron suggested a hike to Falcon Ridge, a steep, narrow trail known to be dangerous after sunset. Cynthia hesitated. It was late in the afternoon, and she wasn't comfortable hiking in the dark. But Aaron insisted. "Trust me," he said, smiling. "I want to show you something beautiful." Cynthia trusted him. Always. And that trust would be fatal. They reached the top just after sunset. The canyon stretched beneath them like a vast, dark ocean, moonlight reflecting off jagged rocks. Cynthia took out her camera, excited to capture the view. She moved closer to the edge to frame the perfect shot. "Take one more step forward," Aaron said from behind her. She did, and that's when he shoved her. It wasn't a slip. It wasn't a stumble. It was a deliberate, forceful push, both hands on her back, full body weight behind it. Cynthia screamed as she plummeted into the darkness. The sound echoed off the cliffs, then faded abruptly into silence. Aaron didn't look down. He didn't try to call her name. He didn't panic. He simply stood there, breathing deeply, steadying himself as if rehearsing the next step. Then he turned around and walked calmly back down the trail. He arrived at the ranger station almost an hour later, putting on an award-winning performance of grief and panic. Crying, shaking, claiming his wife had slipped. But his clothes were spotless, his story inconsistent, and his timeline suspicious. Rangers immediately noticed the inconsistencies, especially the missing 35 minutes between the fall and his arrival. At dawn, rescuers found Cynthia's body. She had fallen hundreds of feet and died instantly. At first glance, it seemed like a tragic accident, but the details didn't add up. Cynthia wasn't positioned like someone who slipped backward. Her body indicated a forward fall. The edge of the cliff showed no signs of sliding. There were no footprints behind her suggesting Aaron had tried to grab her. And her camera, which she'd had in her hand before the fall, was found inside Aaron's backpack. Investigators immediately sensed foul play. When they questioned Aaron, his charm evaporated. He stuttered, contradicted himself, and couldn't explain the missing time. He claimed shock, panic, confusion. But detectives weren't convinced, especially when financial records revealed his mountains of debt and the massive insurance policy. The case exploded open when one of Aaron's coworkers came forward with a disturbing statement. Weeks before the wedding, Aaron had joked that if he ever needed fast money, a mountain honeymoon could fix everything. At the time, it was brushed off as dark humor. Now it sounded like motive. Detectives confronted Aaron with the mounting evidence. The footprints, the timeline, the insurance, the witness statement, the inconsistencies, the camera, the research history, the climbing data, the topography analysis. Everything pointed to premeditated murder. Aaron realized the walls were closing in. He asked for a lawyer. Eventually, under pressure and facing overwhelming evidence, Aaron confessed during plea negotiations. He admitted to everything. He researched cliffs. He planned the hike. He chose the trail. He rehearsed the story. He pushed Cynthia deliberately. He admitted he watched her fall. He admitted he waited to report it so she would be dead by the time help arrived. There was no remorse, no emotion, just a cold recitation of facts. In court, Cynthia's family broke down as Aaron's confession was read. Her mother sobbed uncontrollably. Her father shook with rage. Her younger brother stared at Aaron with pure hatred. The judge looked sickened. "You didn't just kill your wife," the judge said. "You exploited her trust, manipulated her love, and weaponized marriage to commit murder." Aaron Rose was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Cynthia's family created a foundation in her honor, a resource center for victims of manipulation, financial abuse, and hidden domestic dangers. They speak publicly about the red flags Cynthia overlooked because she believed love required tolerance, patience, and sacrifice. Her mother often says, "She didn't die because she trusted too much. She died because he betrayed too deeply." And that is the tragedy of this case. The danger wasn't a stranger in the dark. It wasn't a criminal lurking in the shadows. It wasn't a random act of violence. The danger was the man she married, the man she believed would protect her, the man who promised forever and twisted that promise into a death sentence. Cynthia Rose should still be alive. She should still be creating art. She should still be laughing with her family. She should still be dreaming about her future. Instead, her life ended on a cliff in the arms of the man she trusted most, with the words, "Trust me," still echoing in her memory. Her story is a chilling reminder that love, real love, never feels like fear, never feels like pressure, never feels like danger. And when something feels wrong, even slightly wrong, that feeling is often the truth we refuse to see.